So first of all, the polls going into this election had Lula winning in the first round, ahead by 14 to 15%. Clearly, they got it wrong. This is not a unique phenomenon in Brazil. We saw the same thing in Trump in 2020. What it shows is that, in fact, in today's politics in some countries, the politics of fear, the politics of insecurity, the politics of sort of values against sort of a trumped up, no pun intended, godless communist or socialist play very well. And most people predicted that Bolsonaro wouldn't get more than 36%. He ended up with 43%. So this is heading into the second round. We don't know where it's going. It's going to be a very ugly sort of runoff now that will lead up until October 30th. Both candidates are deeply polarizing. They're insulting each other, accusing each other of being the devil, which obviously obscures a number of the issues around the election, critical issues around the economy, around the environment, around social development. More than 33 million people in the last 6 months have gone hungry, have experienced hunger, according to Oxfam. So there are real serious issues right here, but we're looking at an election that pits two fundamentally different candidates against the other.
Chris, if we just take a close-up look at one of them first up, Lula, because he's not someone we've spoken about as much as Bolsonaro in recent years, but he's attempting to make the journey from prison to the high office. I mean, that is quite a journey. Can this only really happen in an emerging market economy?
Well, yes, it's a rather checkered past to get him here. But he served 8 years, 2 terms from 2003 to 2010, which were highly successful. The economy grew during those 8 years at 4.8%. More than 40 million people were lifted out of poverty. But yes, during that time, too, there was a massive corruption scandal that involved the state oil company as well as 3 infrastructure companies that involved $2 billion in kickbacks, some of which ensnared Lula, especially with the infrastructure companies. And so he served 1.5 years in prison, but was let out on a technicality. So clearly there's both a cloud hanging over him, but a certain swoon over, if you will, sort of Brazil's boom, boom days of growth. And that's something that Bolsonaro has really tried to label Lula with, is this idea that he is a former convict. And therefore does not deserve to return to office. By the same token, though, Bolsonaro himself has been caught up in a series of corruption scandals, particularly among his 3 sons. And so this is, again, a very divisive election in which I wouldn't label this as being a uniquely emerging market political situation, but it's certainly one that's uniquely Brazilian. And the problem is that it's really obscuring far more capable, far more moderate, far more pragmatic and younger candidates just simply because of this ideological battle.